Hello, everyone, and welcome. Hi, Laura. Good to see you. Thank you so much, Laura, for that wonderful welcome with the music. A wonderful touch to this session. Very calming indeed. I think some people asked for the name of the song, so maybe you could type the name in the chat box so people can listen to that and perhaps introduce their own classes with the same music as you've so calmly welcomed us to your session today. So welcome everyone to this Pearson English webinar. Thank you for joining us today. You can also join the conversation online with the hashtag #ReadyForWebinars. The session's being recorded. This will be uploaded to our YouTube channel after the event. Also, every participant will receive a certificate of attendance. Throughout the session, please submit any questions you have in the chat box. We will answer these at the end of the session. So without further delay, I am excited to hand over to Laura, who is going to tell us about building and nurturing creativity. Thank you so much, Laura. Over to you.
Thank you, Charlie. I would like to start. Hello, I'm Laura from Mexico. I live in Monterrey. It's the third largest city in Mexico. I would like to start with an exercise Dr. Daniel Siegel approaches in his book Brainstorm. This book. And this book is The Power and Purpose of the Teenage Brain. And he asks, teenagers usually do not like to be hugged. So he makes an exercise in his book in which he asks the public to, with their right hand, grab their left shoulder, and with their left hand, grab their right shoulder, and just give each other a big, big hug. In these times of COVID, we all need a hug. Little ones, big ones, everyone needs a big hug. So I'll invite you to give to yourself a big hug. So COVID, I don't know about you teachers, but COVID has brought the best in me and the worst in me. As a teacher, I have reinvented myself, and as a mother, I have reinvented myself a whole much other. Of course, COVID has also brought the anxiety and the ups and downs like it has brought to everybody. A colleague of mine, a therapist, usually tells me I have another case of anxiety, and I tell him, who's not in this time so of COVID, not feeling down, up, sad, and that's the part of this COVID. So starting with our presentation, Charlie just mentioned that this is a series of webinars about creativity. I haven't hugged someone for a long time because of COVID. Yeah, me too. I have my daughter, which she gives me with a big hug, and that feels good. But of course, as a Latin American, I miss hugging everybody. We hug, we kiss, and that's our culture in Latin America. I don't know in most of the cultures, but in Latin America, we are big huggers. Charlie, am I moving my own presentation or you are moving my presentation? Okay. So let's move on.
Thumbnail. So that's working now.
This before that presentation before this one.
You should. There you go. Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
So, building and nurturing creativity. This webinar is being recorded, and you will be given a certificate. And there's a lot of other things that you can see. There's gonna be a lot of posts that I wrote, and this webinar is based on a post that it's going to be in Pearson's material. So I'm going to go by some of the activities that I proposed in that post. So you can, right now, you can ask what other alternatives we can do with those posts, and we can do it together. Hello, Croatia. Okay, I will. I've been watching some webinars, and I saw one that I liked his approach because he made it very personal. So my personal approach would be that I am mother of Maya. Maya means illusion in Hindi. I live in a city, which is a very large city, but I live in a rural area just 5 minutes to go from the city, and I am surrounded by mountains. I live in a valley. And I have been teaching teenagers for 20 years and 3 years college students. So I don't know how did it happen, but I found myself in love with what I do. My mom has been my teacher since kindergarten. Then she was my principal, and then she became my boss. So I think education runs in the family. Um, my mom always told me that a teacher shouldn't be in the same subject and the same teaching level all of her life, because then she becomes comfortable. And I think that made me grew up, because she would always change my subject and my grade level, and I would have to make an effort to learn and to deal with different type of grade level kids. So that was interesting, and I right now I keep on learning and challenging myself. Hello, Montenegro, Ukraine. So when I started teaching, I always thought of myself as a creative person, because we always think a creative person is someone who has a lot of ideas, right? So I went to Spain, where I met Madre Deus, the music you just heard. It's Portuguese music. The national music in Portugal is fado, which is a melancholic music because of the woman missing their sailors. So I started studying creativity in Spain, and then I was invited by one of my teachers to study to, to keep on furthering my studies in Buffalo. What I found in Buffalo was very uncommon for me. There was this bunch of people, everybody was kissing and hugging each other, and I couldn't understand that. Hola, Carla. So I I didn't connect it that time. I went to Buffalo 3 times, and I didn't connect it. And the first time, because I couldn't understand why these people were so happy and dancing and hugging. So what I really got at that time is that this was a community. There was like a tribe in which everybody will respect each other and their ideas. So everybody felt comfortable in being crazy or hugging. So the next time I said I'm gonna put off my chip, and I'm gonna do what they do. So the next year I went, of course, I was connected with this tribe, and I became part of this tribe. Um, then I was invited to Fort Myers with Tim Pearson, with his book. You might like to read it, think better. And then I finished my certificate in creativity and innovation in Mexico City. In Mexico City, I learned that most people have stopped being creative because we are so afraid of being criticized. So I was with this bunch of adults who would not do any of the exercises the teachers were asking, because felt they felt that they would look silly, and that is why most of us stop being creative by the time we get to junior high. So I like to start with an exercise, and I want to see in the chat if you could answer, what do these three images you see here have in common? I would like to read some of your answers, please. You use your fingers. Ready for create unhealthy food. Okay, can be baked. Creativity, haptic. They relate to food, quick fix. Could be food. Okay, food. Happiness, both. Bring pleasure, good, modern life. Happy to be joined in through colors. You can be creative with all three. Children's jammy food are colorful, not good for health. Warm, enjoyment, not natural. Okay, what these three products have in common is that the three of them are a mistake. Not natural, fun to have. Okay. For example, the microwave was invented by a guy who worked in a microwave radar, who saw that his chocolate in his pocket pan was getting melt, and he saw that the microwave was doing that. So he invented the microwave. Then the Play-Doh. This is a cleaning factory that would do a dough, and with this dough, they would take away the ash, the coal produced after a fire in a house. So someone in the family of the owner who was about a bankruptcy, clean wallpapers, yes, with Play-Doh. She was a teacher and she used it in the classroom. So Play-Doh became what we know today. And French fries, it was after a frozen river that French or Belgium, they're still discussing it, put French fries as with the form of a fish. But well, what I'm trying to say here is that we're so used to be in a society that classifies good, bad, right from wrong. Hello, Philippines. So we grow up believing that mistakes shouldn't be, and mistakes makes us grow. Creativity is in all of us. We seek to integrate what is outside ourselves and inside. It's like puddings, maybe made by chance. Okay. In Gerard Pucho in Buffalo State University created a whole program called the Foresight. And he tells us that creativity, great mistakes makes us grow. Yes, great mistakes makes us grow. Einstein would say a person who never made a mistake never tried anything new. So in Foresight, Gerard Pucho tells us that a creative person has four ways of thinking. One is an ideator. An ideator is what everybody would say it's a creative person, a person with a lot of ideas. So I will write here an ideator. I did something wrong. Mediator, that's one. A clarifier. So one is a person who gives all the ideas. The next one would be a person who questions those ideas. A third one would be a developer. A developer, a person who gets those ideas and those questions into a plan, and then the last one will be an implementer. Most of our students have many ideas, many ideas, but they do not know how to go to a plan and put them into a something, to an action, right? So we can't say that a creative person is that person with many ideas, because a person with many ideas is just that, someone who will never get to the ground and put their ideas on work. So what does the clarifier do? A clarifier will always be questioning. That's why all of them are good, but just being one of them, it's not that good, because you have to make a balance. You in foresight, they teach you that you can be the four of them, or you can be two of them, or three of them. But the idea is to work on becoming the four types of creative person. Like I would say, oh, I would love a party in the beach, and the clarifier would say, which beach, when, at what time, what would we eat? Then a developer would say, okay, with all the things that we have clarified, we are going to do it this way and this way and this way. Um, yes, the theory is foresight, and it's Gerard Pucho. You can see some of his videos in YouTube. They're really great. So, and he tells us that we have been creative all of our lives. As cavemen, we ideated the way to survive the the lions and the wildlife. So we have always been creative. We have just become out of our creativity because we have a society that keeps on classifying us or judging us, right? So that is a creative person. We should teach our students these four ideas, because this is how we work as a group. That's why we as group, when we ask them to work as a group, they make so many. The screen has no change. No, when they work as a group, they have so many challenges because they do not know how to communicate, because there's always an mediator or a clarifier or a developer or an implementer. Okay. The role of education is to awaken and develop the power of creativity. I will take 2 minutes to ask you, if you have a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, whatever you have to write on, besides you, to just jot or draw a quick picture of yourself. Let's do 2 minutes. Draw a picture of yourself. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna do the same. Blanca, with a picture of yourself, I'm gonna ask you a question. Just hold on, please. Just our face, yes. Or body, no. This is YouTube watch. Steve Solano. The Gerard Pucho. Let me show you. Show me the. This is a video of Gerard Pucho. Okay, 2 minutes. We can't see each other pictures, so the idea of this activity is to ask you a question. Charles, will you ask the question in the activity poll, please? Which of these answers first came to your mind? I don't know how to draw. I love drawing. This exercise is for kids. This exercise. Oh, but okay. Just answer the three of them. I don't know how to draw. I love drawing.
you can scroll down. There is the for. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay. Sorry for that. I doubled up the last answer there.
Doesn't matter. Okay. I love drawing. I love drawing. I love drawing.
And I can share the results, Laura, in perhaps sort of 20, 30 seconds.
Okay. Thank you.
If you'd like to see that. So you should all be able to see the poll on your screen, and if you click an option that you choose, and then click submit at the bottom of the poll.
I really love drawing. I don't know. It says thank you for your participation in the poll.
Okay, would you like to have a look at the results then?
Yes, please.
Sure.
35% said, what is the orange one? That's great to draw, not to do exercise.
Okay.
Scroll down and you will see. Thank you, Natasha. I don't know how to draw. I love drawing. This exercise is for kids. This exercise is for kids. Okay. I like doing this exercise. I mean, in every course of creativity I've been to, they ask you to draw in every single one of them. And I always say to myself, I hate drawing. I'm a terrible artist, you know. A friend just very recently told me, so if you're a creativity teacher, what arts are you good at? Are you good at painting, music, dancing? I said, I'm no good at any of them. And he said, so how can you call yourself a creativity teacher? I said, well, creativity is not about arts. Creativity is about how you live your life. So I found that every time I ask this activity to students, no matter the age, there's always someone who will say, I don't know how to draw. So I usually tell them, okay, so show me how bad you are. Because they kept on, they were so afraid of being exposed to the other classmates that they would not do a simple drawing. I made a simple drawing of myself. So it doesn't mean if you're a good or bad, it just means of letting it flow. So this is a nice exercise for your students too, and you will see who's not ready to talk out loud, to participate, and it's a good starting exercise. And because we all know how to draw. It doesn't matter how bad we are, we all know how to draw. And that's what this exercise was a little bit about. So the next slide. So we're here to talk about the 3 key elements that I found that nurture creativity in the classroom. And one of them is physical. This is Maya. Maya is very artistic. She likes this. This could never be my desk, Maya's desk, because it's so, for me, it's too many things, too many distractors, but it works for her. Every time the teacher keeps on talking to a student that it doesn't have to do with her, she will grab a color and a paper and start doing and creating something new. For me, I have to be in a very clean desk with nothing besides it, and that's the way I work. But everybody is different. I even provide my students with little toys. We believe that any type of toys will be a distractor for them, but I have learned that these distractors, even a little car, a little ball, I give them all these toys. I put them up in a table in the middle of the classroom, and everybody will stand up, and everybody chooses their own toy, and they go back to their desk, and they're very happy, and they stop trying to use their cell phones. Because Microsoft in the recent studies have shown us that human span of attention lasts only 8 seconds, and it keeps narrowing up as technology keeps evolving. So toys are good. Don't be afraid of allowing them. Don't be uh, don't be afraid of allowing them their own physical space and to create their own place where they feel comfortable and happy. I also ask my students to, right now, in a time where they don't move, to stretch. And I will say, come on, Laura, will you tell us how to stretch today? And Laura would do like this. Then I ask, okay, Charlie, will you tell us another way to stretch? And Charlie would do like this. Then I asked Saskia, will you tell us how to stretch, Saskia? And Saskia would do this and this. And give everybody an opportunity to recover energy by standing up and moving while they are in class or online class, because I see that most of the teachers do not ask students to move in these times where they had to be sitting down in front of a monitor from 8 o'clock in the morning to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it is very exhausting. That would be great if only students turn their cameras on. Yes, that is true. I'm sorry, Federico. I also know that that I am talking about utopian societies in where parents were present, right? We wish as teachers that parents were there for their kids to help them have a better studying habits. I know. I also have that problem with college students, and it is kind of frustrating that they will not turn on their cameras, that they look in a terrible shape. They haven't even had breakfast, and it is frustrating as a teacher to see them that way. But we work with what we have, and we expect the best, right? So that is physical. That's why Federico, I encourage you to make them stretch. At least the ones who want to stretch. So the next slide would be, this is what I was asking you to do, to stretch. They like to. They have fun, and I do this in the classroom all the time. Some of them are shy, some of them are not, but they like it. Okay, the next element to nurture creativity is your mental, a variety of stimuli that feed diverse learning styles. We have been told so many times. Of course, we need to guarantee that we have different learning styles. I I am a good listener. Some of them are good at just watching. Some of them are good at kinesthetic learning. So we have to learn all of our student styles. That becomes a challenge for every teacher. So this is in the post that it's in Pearson, you will see this exercise, and it's called a storyboard. Can creativity appear without a stimulus, intrigue, or interest in the subject? Can creativity appear without a stimulus? I tell my students that I am not a creativity teacher, that I could never imagine being a creativity teacher. I tell my students that I am just trying to be a healer, because I believe education is an act of love. So what I try to do is that I always give myself some minutes of my class to do an activity, Natalia, that will show me how my students are feeling that day, that moment. And with that, I work. With that, I don't know, some of them will say they are sad. Some of them will say I am happy. Some of them will say my boyfriend keeps on telling me I shouldn't be on the phone, or I see a lot of things. So what I try to do is I can't heal everybody. I am not a healer, so I just try to be there and know that there's an adult who cares for them, and that makes a big difference. May appear, but with stimulus, intrigue, and interest, it is at its peak. Students love to have a variety of activities. Yes. So this activity is called the storyboard. The storyboard, I like it a lot. I've done it with college students and elementary students, and they can draw. They can do images. They can do it with words. They can do it with symbols, with whatever they want. Junior high students usually like symbols. Elementary kids usually like drawing. So we start in here. We do a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares, and we start in number 6. Is everybody with me? So in number 6, we write, it would be great if my math skills got better. Creativity is always written in a positive way, because we have to believe that our problems have possibilities. If we don't have possibilities, it's like, well, world peace. See? So it would be great if my math skills got better. It would be great if my friend talked to me more often. It would be great if I could receive at least one hug a day during COVID, making comic strips as well. Yes. So we start with number 6. That's the idea. Then we go to number 1. In number 1, you help your student to do their to work on their challenges. I don't like praising. In Carol Dweck's book, I don't know if you read it. I'm gonna write it here. Carol Dweck. Carol Dweck. I don't see that, but in mindset, I don't believe in praising. I believe that praising will not help the growth mindset of students. So this storyboard will help your students to they will write down their challenges and how are they going to work through them in order to have um, better results. A ver. Strips as well. Okay. Then we go to number 2. These are my ideas, but it can work with any ideas. Then number 2, I will start with timetable 6 to 10 every 2 days of the week. You can see I'm terrible at math, so I always use math examples because I'm not good at it. Then number 3, as feedback every Friday, or you can also download an app that will help you with your mental math, which I did last week to help my daughter Maya. Then number 4, is write down my weekly math goals. Number 5, every time my goal is not met, I'll ask for help, even if it's difficult for me. So this is a storyboard. This will help your students to be more motivated, to feel good about themselves, that they can measure their short, middle, and long-term goals. It's good to teach them this type of differences in goals: short, medium, and long-term goals. So this is a storyboard. Then I come to this. In one word, will you use the chat and tell me a nickname or word people have used or used to describe you? I have people tell me Mafalda. Determined, sunny. Mafalda. Kind, talkative. Overzealous, warm-hearted, volcanic. Maria Cristina. Humorous. Piluca. What is Piluca, Maria del Pilar? Honeybee, crazy, honest. Toberonotove, talkative, energetic, calm, honest, hardworking, Nancy. Okay, and Paula Hatsu Schlauer, Mr. Noel, Diaz, zone. Okay, honest. Princess, energetic, happy. Well, I don't know if it is because of my creative side, but I have always been called that I was the black sheep of my family. So every time I would go to a new therapist, I would say, my name is Laura Vazquez and I am the black sheep of my family. So finally, after one or another therapist, one told me, oh, so you must be beautifully different. Those 2 words changed my whole perspective of me. So I think this is when it started, when I started like living my own life and stopped being all the labels everybody had put on me. So this made me feel different. And most of our students go throughout life feeling or thinking many things they have been labeled by their parents, by their classmates, by whoever didn't even meant to, but that's what they told them one day they were that way and they believe they are that way and they can't change. So the last one, so we talked about physical as a key element for nurturing creativity. We talked about mental, that we have to challenge them mentally. And the last one, and not the least one, is emotional, in where we have to give students an emotional climate, in where we support their ideas and where we make them feel safe. In this exercise, you will see, we're going to move on to the exercise of my whole self. And I like to use this, and I've used this with with third graders, with junior high, and with college students, and they really love this exercise because it's about themselves. So I asked them to draw in a big paper a human piece figure, and you can do this individually, in pairs, or as a whole group. When it's a whole group, I usually ask them to write their names. Here's the whole self. I usually ask them to write their names, and I ask them to write in their head how do they feel right now in this moment of their lives, in their heart, who do they love, what do they like to do as an activity, and so on. And this tells me so much information about them that that helps me know them much better. That's why emotional, supportive atmosphere of trust is reinforced. The only rule in my class, and they know it very well, is respect. And when someone is not paying attention or is distracted with something else, there's someone who will always ask him or her to come back and pay attention to the classmates, because everybody's opinion is important to everybody else's. Sorry. So with this, my whole self, then I put it up in the classroom, or you can ask them to put it up in their desk and use it as part of your class so you can know your students. This is a story that I like very much, and I like to use it with every single age group I have taught. Here it goes. Llama la atención. I use it, and it keeps a classroom very connected. I'm going to share it with you. A ver. Charlie is telling me that it's not valid. URL is not valid.
Hi, Laura. So, sorry, what are you trying to do? To put a URL into the chat box? Sorry, Laura. What was it you were trying to do?
I am trying to put the YouTube URL, but it's telling me it's not valid.
Ah, okay. Well, then if you go back to the YouTube page where you got it from, and just check that you got the correct URL. There we go. Okay.
Yeah. I know why. I'm sorry.
Would you like me to play it? Are you there?
Hold on.
Nice one.
I see what I did wrong.
Brilliant.
Okay, so here we are. Federico, thank you, Federico. So I love this story.
The Dot.
The Dot.
Oh, turn your microphone on mute, Laura.
By Peter H.
By
Reynolds.
Peter H. Reynolds.
Art class was over, but Vashti sat glued to her chair. Her paper was empty. Vashti's teacher leaned over the blank paper. "Ah, a polar bear in a snowstorm," she said. "Very funny," said Vashti. "I just can't draw." Her teacher smiled. "Just make a mark and see where it takes you." Vashti grabbed a marker and gave the paper a good, strong jab. There! Her teacher picked up the paper and studied it carefully. She pushed the paper toward Vashti and quietly said, "Now sign it." Vashti thought for a moment. "Well, maybe I can't draw, but I can sign my name." The next week, when Vashti walked into art class, she was surprised to see what was hanging above her teacher's desk. It was the little dot she had drawn. Her dot, all framed in swirly gold. I can make a better dot than that. She opened her never-before-used set of watercolors and set to work. Vashti painted and painted. A red dot, a purple dot, a yellow dot, a blue dot. The blue mixed with the yellow. She discovered that she could make a green dot. Vashti kept experimenting, lots of little dots in many colors. If I can make little dots, I can make big dots too. Vashti splashed her colors with a bigger brush on a bigger paper to make bigger dots. Vashti even made a dot by not painting a dot. At the school art show a few weeks later, Vashti's many dots were quite a splash. Vashti noticed a little boy gazing up at her. "You're a really great artist. I wish I could draw," he said. "I bet you can," said Vashti. "Me? No, not me. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler." Vashti smiled. She handed the boy a blank sheet of paper. "Show me." The boy's pencil shook as he drew his line. Vashti stared at the boy's squiggle, and then she said, "Sign it."
Sorry, Laura. Your mic's on mute. Okay, there we go. Thank you.
I will wrap up this webinar by saying that it would be great if someone ever told you you were a great artist or you were a great someone. And they asked also, can you spark creativity in every kid? Yes, you can. Of course you can. You just have to make the kid believe in himself all over again. Doesn't matter what they have been told, doesn't matter what they have lived, they are truly creative. Just make them believe in themselves.
Brilliant. Thank you, Laura. What a wonderful session. Excellent words you've said that will inspire everyone. A bit of creativity, to bring a bit of creativity to their classes. Thank you. And thank you to everybody for taking the time out of your day to join us. We do have a few moments for any questions, so please do send them through. If any of those are coming in, I'll give you a few moments and let you know the certificates are being sent out. The recording will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. And please look out for the virtual goodie bag, which will be sent to you after the session as well, which is full of useful information and links related to the full series of webinars that we're putting on at the moment. And I'm currently sharing a URL which will lead you to the schedule for the webinars, which are running for the rest of today and tomorrow. And of course, then, if you want to catch up with any of the sessions that have been on previously, you can check out our YouTube playlist, and the link is now in the chat box as well. So it doesn't look like we've had any more questions come in, Laura. So I thank you again for putting together these slides and presenting to all of us today. Thank you, Laura.
Gracias.
And thank you to all of you for joining us. And I hope to see you at another Pearson English webinar very soon. Have a good rest of your day to wherever you are. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.